Hey, good morning everybody, and welcome to the vlog. That's right, we're going to be cutting a clutch of eggs here in a minute, but this clutch of eggs has a little bit of a special story behind it. Not exactly a really great story, but a story, and every story kind of makes up who you are, right? So I want to start with that. Then we'll come back and actually cut this clutch of eggs and hopefully see some amazing babies. As most of you know, that the majority of my first 28 years working with reptiles was breeding snakes, and thankfully I was kind of on the forefront of a lot of things, in particular ball pythons. Well, this particular clutch that we're about to cut is one of those ball pythons that we pioneered, and that is the sunset ball python. Now again, it was a crazy story. It was a ball python that came out of West Africa. I paid $70,000 for this little tiny baby male way back in the day, and it was really high hopes. Back then ball pythons were like the rage. They still are the rage, but back then they were huge money, and that's what I did for a living. So we bought this kind of speculative snake hoping that it was going to prove out. Well, thankfully, after a number of years of working with the project, we actually produced the very first sunset. Of course, it's the sunset ball, and this was probably the biggest animal that I produced this year, and I was just so excited. It's kind of a game changer for me because, again, can you imagine this animal bred into albino, pinstripe, clown, pied, you name the mutation, it's going to be ridiculous. Over the next several years, we were the only people in the world that were producing sunset ball pythons, and the ball python kind of world was exploding at the time, like I had mentioned, so they were selling for like $70,000, which is crazy, and I had like people lined up to buy them, and it was really a great time to be producing such an amazing animal. And it's really cool that even after all these years, now probably 10 years later, they're still like $5,000–$6,000, so they're still really sought after as a recessive mutation. I mean, what made them unique is the fact that there was like this orange, almost reddish snake. It's a color that you don't see in ball pythons, so that gave us an opportunity to mix them into different color palettes. So I raised up a handful of heterozygous that we had produced so that we could continue producing a bunch of sunsets over the coming years. So this is the actual female that laid the clutch. This is actually a possible het. Now you may ask yourself, why am I breeding possible hets? Well, unfortunately, I've brought this up once before, and I don't want to get into it because, you know, I believe in kind of leaving the past in the past. But what happened was I had someone that I had trusted in the crew that basically stole all my heterozygous animals. That's right, all of the adult heterozygous animals that were producing sunsets for me disappeared. And unfortunately, the following year, my adult male sunset that came out of the wild passed away. So I basically was dead in the water with the project because I didn't have my adult hets I produced, and I didn't have the adult sunset male anymore. So all I had was some het males, and I was able to produce these animals, which are 50% possible heterozygous. Now, you know, obviously it's a bad thing. It's a horrible thing, and it cost me literally hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm not gonna lie, but you know, I've left that in the past. I'm not gonna lie, and we've changed a lot of things. Like, for instance, again, we didn't have cameras before, so we couldn't prove anything. Now we have cameras, as well as we have a crew that we really trust. But you know, I made the mistake in the past, and you know, life goes on. I don't want to throw anyone under the bus. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to mention names. It just happened, and that's the way it is, and I've moved on. So now we have these possible hets, and hopefully one of them will prove out and we can produce some sunsets again. I've mentioned it before that every event in life brings you to where you're going to go in the future, right? So to be honest with you, if I would have still been producing sunsets and all the other things, there's a chance that maybe I wouldn't have fulfilled my dream, which is this, the final dream of educating people and opening up the Reptarium. So in a way, yes, it was a bummer, but at the same time, it kind of pushed me in another direction, along with many other things, right? I remember once talking to a friend of mine that was really successful, a multi-millionaire, and he told me once, you know, Brian, in my career, I've lost millions and millions of dollars, and you know what I've done when I've done that? I've thought about how I could make millions and millions more. I don't dwell on the past. I don't dwell on what I've lost. I only look towards the future. And that's kind of the way that I've really looked at that whole situation. And now there's an opportunity to maybe start to right a really bad wrong, and maybe I'll be able to produce one. Again, it's a long shot. It may take me 2 or 3 more years to get to my final goal, but today at least we have a shot at it, and I'm pretty excited just to see what it is. I'm not going to be overly disappointed if we miss, but I am pretty excited about the possibility. So what do you say we just go ahead and cut that clutch? So here it is, guys, the moment of truth. Like I had mentioned, I don't have high expectations for this clutch, right? I mean, possible het stuff sometimes proves out, sometimes doesn't, but you never know. Is this the time that it actually will work out? So let's just go ahead and cut this first egg and see if any special stuff comes up. Here we go. What do we have? Dun, 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 the moment of truth. And the normal ball python. just like I expected. I think that we have what? We have 2, 4, 6, 8 eggs in this clutch. So I think once we get to probably 5 eggs, if we haven't got a sunset yet, probably not a good option. But you never know. I mean, I've had clutches where I know they're heads, and you've gotten 7 normals, or 7 eggs have been cut, and there's nothing, and then the 8th egg is. So you never really know. But hey, listen, one day we're going to hit this. I promise you we're going to hit this again. Egg number 2. Boy, if I saw a little red baby, I think I would actually faint, to be honest with you. Unfortunately, another normal baby. Oh, God. Obviously, I didn't have high expectations, but I had high hopes, right? So let's just keep on moving on. No sense in wasting any time on this one because there's nothing else exciting other than potentially sunsets. There shouldn't be any other mutations in this. So we're going to get either all normals or potentially something really exciting. Again, a normal ball python in this clutch. Every egg that we cut, there's less expectations. So let's just go ahead. We've got 5 eggs left. Let's just go ahead and just rip through them. Here we go. Come on. This one little red baby would make my life so happy. All right, a normal baby ball python. And again, guys, I don't want you to feel bad for what happened. Like I had mentioned, I've moved on from things. We'll get it back. I mean, it's still, every sunset that's produced out there came from us one way or another, right? So it's still cool to be the originator of that. And there's no doubt that we will produce them again. And when we do, it'll be even more special to me, right? Here we go. All right, this is the big one. And the normal ball python. So, we're 5 eggs in, guys. 3 eggs to go. Probably not good. If I'm going to give you a percentage, I would say 98% tells me the next 3 eggs are going to be normal. So let's see. And that's not being pessimistic. That's just being realistic, right? So let's just go ahead and see if my odds get better or worse. Wouldn't it be crazy if one of these eggs was? This one isn't it, that's for sure. Huh. It's a pretty little baby though, it's kind of neat. Down to the final 2. 2 eggs left. And, let me see what's in here. Nope, just a normal ball python. Now, wouldn't this be hilarious if, like I had mentioned, 7 eggs were normal and then the 8th egg turns out to be a sunset? That would be ridiculous. So let's just go ahead and get this over with real quick. And what do we have? What do we have? Oh my gosh, it's still exciting producing babies no matter what. So, yep, just a normal baby, guys. So, definitely no sunsets on this one. Again, I could go out and buy a sunset right now, but I think I want to produce it, right? I want to take that journey again because I think it's going to be more fulfilling for me. And like I've been mentioning, I don't really breed snakes as investment animals anymore, so I'm not worried about producing sunsets to make money on them. I just want to do it because emotionally I'd like to produce one again. So we missed on this one. We've got a couple more clutches this year that we could potentially produce, all from possible heads, just like this clutch. So again, don't look at this as a sad story. Look at it as a story of opportunity. And we will get there. And when we do, together, it'll be even that much more special. Guys, don't forget that we have the new merch drop out. Of course, we've got Ivy with hugs and without hugs. We also have Lucy with hugs and without hugs. You can go down the link in the description. They're only going to be available for a limited time. I think they're amazing because they wrap completely around you. Super, super comfortable. Definitely the best quality shirts we've ever had before. There's no doubt about it. So if you guys are interested, for a limited time, you can get your merch. Again, link down in the description. And I hope that you guys enjoy them. Down in the dungeon, which can only mean one thing. Egg time. Okay, let's go ahead and see what we have going on. This is actually an interesting animal. This is actually what we were calling a cinnamon paintball python. But what happened is that originally there was an animal called a paintball python. That's kind of a cool looking animal. This is cinnamon and that. And then when you bred them together, you could produce a super paint. Well, now we really realize that it's a visual heterozygous. Now they're called recessive. So this is actually a cine het paint. So obviously some of its babies are going to have visual het paint markings on it along with that. And it was bred to an unbelievable male, which was this male here, which is an absolute beauty. This, of course, is a Lemon Blast Extreme Gene Enchi. And just so you visually understand, this is what they used to call a super paint. Now they would just call paint because this is the recessive mutation. So that cinnamon is het for this mutation here. There's no other mutations in this. And then you start adding all those other genes with that male. Oh my goodness, we could get a lot of cool animals. And to make matters a little bit even more confusing, there's actually something that's called a sentinel that looks basically the same thing. And the paint and the sentinels look almost identical. So So let's go ahead and just pull this clutch, and hopefully these babies are gonna be rippers. So I hope now you can see why I was so excited about this particular clutch. So we're just gonna go ahead and remove Mama. She seems to be being very, very well behaved. Nice, beautiful clutch of eggs right here. We'll go ahead and get them right in here. We might have to remove the top ones. No, I think we're actually gonna be okay. So we have 2, 4, 6, 7 beautiful eggs. And again, the combinations thereof are gonna be incredible. And then when we produce the supers of that form, or now what is called the recessive mutation, oh my goodness, can you imagine that paintball python with the Enchi, Extreme Gene, Lemon Blast, Cinnamon? Oh my gosh, the future is gonna be so amazing. I can't wait till this clutch hatches. Remember I told you yesterday how Ivy didn't even look that big, but I thought that after a couple days she would kind of bloat, you know, that animal gases start going off. This happened last time too, and that's why she's floating as well. She's got all that gas in her, but look at that huge lump right now. And what's interesting is that earlier she was underneath the waterfall. She did this last time too, where her belly's under the waterfall, just kind of getting it hidden. I think it kind of helps her out. But being in the water probably is really good for her because all the weight of that animal isn't kind of weighing her down. She's able to float and stuff like this. And again, this is just typical anaconda stuff. You see this in the wild when people come across an anaconda and they're kind of floating on the top like this. So it's pretty cool to see it. Definitely that 20-pound pig was a big one. As you guys know, Reptarium is now open. It's pretty awesome, but we are limiting the amount of people, 25 people. For the rest of June, 25 people is what we're doing, so we're selling tickets. There's just a handful of tickets left, and then unfortunately we're sold out for the whole month of June, but you can go to Reptarium.com, check your time slots. If you want to come visit us throughout the rest of June, please come check us out. It's cool. It's an interesting opportunity where there'll only be 25 people in here. If everything goes well in July, we're going to be able to increase that number quite a bit. So this is an interesting, rare opportunity. Get on it if you want to, Reptarium.com. And if not, hopefully I'll see you in July just as a regular open. This next clutch is actually a pinstripe female. Ooh! Mama's not happy, so I'm gonna have to be careful, but she was bred to this silver streak bamboo Woma male. I mean, that thing is a stud, and he looks so cool. Let's see how many eggs she has. And Mama does not look happy. Whew! All right, we're gonna get Mama off the eggs right now. Come on, little girl. Oh, and that's a bunch of eggs. Definitely one of the bigger clutches of eggs that we've had this year, and these are so fresh. I want to show you what I mean by that. See how these eggs are they're very soft and kind of pliable right now, but they're still pretty formed, right? Look at this egg right here. It's not even pliable yet, which means that she literally just laid that probably within the last 15 minutes or so. Now, it looked like she was completely done. That's why she wasn't wrapped around. Makes complete sense. So we caught her literally within minutes of laying the last eggs, which is going to be good for the eggs because that way I can kind of move them around. We'll get Mama all cleaned up, get her cage cleaned up, get her to forget about these eggs and move on. But let's just pull the rest of this clutch because I'm telling you what, guys, this might be the biggest clutch of the year, or at least tie it, because that is a lot of eggs right there. We're just going to keep on pulling these eggs because there's definitely no doubt that these got rolled around a little bit, but the truth is that when eggs are just laid, they aren't really adhered to the top yet, right? Usually that takes several hours, so the chances are even if these were rolled, they'd be okay because that embryo can kind of freely roll around for a little bit. But just think of the combinations there with that pinstripe, the bamboo, the silver streak, the Woma. Oh my goodness, this is going to be an amazing clutch to cut in 57 days. Okay, let's see how many eggs we got. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 eggs! We did it, guys. The biggest clutch of the year, 13 eggs. That is a monster clutch for a ball python. I couldn't be more excited. Again, 57 days from now, we'll be cutting this clutch. We have so many egg cutting clutches coming this year. It's going to be so exciting. So obviously it was a bummer that we missed on the sunset stuff, but we have a couple more clutches, and I promise you we'll eventually produce again. It'll be really exciting when it actually happens, and I'm not stressed out at all about it. Again, remember about the merch here, link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, right here is an egg cutting playlist. You can just roll through and just see us cut all kinds of great eggs. Up here, you can please support my podcast channel called Checking In. On this side, you can subscribe to the vlog channel. I sure appreciate your support, and please turn the post notifications on. Have a wonderful day. Remember, be kind to someone, and I promise I'll see you tomorrow.